3 disturbing true hotel horror stories. Taking it beat with another reaction anyhow, you know what I'm saying, fool? Oh my goodness, what's going on, goddamn? I don't know, but we got 3 disturbing hotel horror stories, and they say all these hoes true, man. So we finna see what the fuck this shit here for. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, drop down in the comment what y'all want to see next, fool. We ain't gonna wait no time, goddamn. Let's get into it. Creep ass ear ass music, goddamn. Story 1.
Back when I was 18 and in my senior year of high school, I used to play softball for our school's female softball team. That year specifically, our school was actually really good, and because of that, we were invited to an invitational tournament in Las Vegas. I remember we stayed in a hotel, only around 15 minutes from the city itself. It was around 9 p.m. when we got there. We all sort of divided into our own groups to stay in hotel rooms. And
That one
of that,
thing, fool, I would've
three other of my close
wish I
friends at the time
would've
decided to stay
the
in a
high
room
school
together.
sports, that traveling and just being a
Around
part
an
of
hour
the whole
later,
aesthetic of
and
the
all
shit.
four of us
And
were
traveling,
unpacked
getting elite
and
class
winding down in our
early and
room,
shit. I don't
as
even
our
track
first
and
game of
shit,
the
but like,
tournament was scheduled
I
early
wanted
the
to play
next
the other shit.
morning.
Drop down in the comments that I wanted to play.
As I was lying
Drop
in
down in the
bed,
comments if y'all
basically
played
half
sports in
asleep at
high
this
school,
point,
goddamn, for
the
one.
phone to our
And
room
then, you
rang.
know what school, I mean,
It kind of startled us, as I've
let
stayed
me
in
know
many
what
hotels
sport y'all
before,
had played
and
too.
never once remember the hotel phone itself ringing. All
Like
of
the
us,
video too.
now wide awake, looked at each other. We agreed we should answer it, and decided I would do it. So I picked up the phone and said the usual hello. Now, this was a few years ago, so I don't remember the exact conversation. But on the other end of the phone, a man's almost whispering voice replied saying we hadn't paid for a room, and that one of us needed to come down to the lobby to pay for it. Immediately, red flags went off in my head, as I knew his claim wasn't true. I had witnessed our coach pay for the room not even 2 hours ago. Why would they have given us room keys if we hadn't paid for it? Plus, even if something had gone wrong with the payment, it would have been super unprofessional to call the room this late into the night. I replied to the man, saying that we had paid for the room. But, completely ignoring my statement, the man once again insisted that just one of us had to come down,
Man, what
as
the
our room wasn't
fuck?
paid for.
I would've hung up the
His
phone.
voice, now clearly frustrated,
Only one of you
followed the
guys
claim
come
up with a
down
threat,
here.
saying that if we didn't send one
Please.
person down, there would be
Please.
consequences.
Like what,
Now,
fool?
I'm a pretty paranoid person. The whole thing felt so wrong to me. There was no way I was letting any of us go down to the lobby. I replied to the man, saying that we would be staying in our room until someone came to escort us
How
out.
he even
and hung
get
up the
that phone, goddamn?
I figured that if that really was someone from the hotel, they would either come up to our room or just resolve the situation in the morning. I told the others that I got a really bad feeling from the dude and explained to them what happened. Thankfully, they all agreed that there was no chance we hadn't paid, and that it was basically unheard of for a hotel front desk to call you in your room this late. Of course, we were all on edge, but decided to forget about it and just go to sleep. No one came to kick us out, but through the night, the phone to the room did ring a few more times. The next morning, we told our coach about the situation, and he asked the person working at the front desk about it, and if his payment for the room didn't go through. But to our horror, they had no idea what we were talking about, and even insisted that the front desk would not have called us that late into the night.
That's what I'm saying. How to brave and get the phone to somebody always be up there, ho.
But for the rest of our time there, we never heard back from them.
It's a whole, for the phone, for the room, to call the room number for, that's a whole different phone from regular phones out
It's
there.
left me with a lot of questions. Like, who called us? Why did they want one of us to exit the room alone in the middle of the night? And how did they know what room we were in? Honestly, the more I think about it, the more creeped out I get. But I'm just glad we decided to stay in our room that night.
Goddamn. This shit crazy. What the fuck? Story 2 anyhow. Ooh, shit.
When I was 14, my family took a trip to a ski resort in Colorado. I'm the oldest of 4. I have an older brother, a younger brother, and younger sister, who was 7 at the time. We all got along really well, and on our second night at the resort's hotel, we decided to hang out in the sauna. We sat there for maybe 30 minutes when my older brother mentioned how he was getting hungry. He suggested one of us should run back up to our room to grab some food for all of us. And stupidly, we sent our little sister to do it. Looking back, I don't know what we were thinking, sending our 7-year-old sister up to our room completely alone. But after a couple minutes, we could hear footsteps come running back down the hall. She ran back into the sauna completely out of breath and explained how some creepy man was following her. Of course, right as she finished explaining, we could see some man I'd never seen before pacing around out in the swimming pool area.
But what the
I'll never forget what he looked like. He was clearly an older man, hunching over as he walked. The guy was wearing multiple layers of winter clothes, making it obvious he wasn't in the swimming pool area to swim. My brothers and I watched out the sauna window in absolute shock, trying to understand what was going on. That's when the man slowly started making his way towards us. Now, the sauna had a one-way window, so he couldn't have known all of us were in there. When he got close enough and opened the door, the man instantly froze, clearly not expecting 4 people to be inside.
Bro, why you ain't lock the door?
Without saying a word, the man closed the door
be on
and
that
left through an
stupid
exit.
ass shit.
But not just the exit to the swimming pool area, rather the building itself. After that, we all went back to our room terrified. When we got there, we told our parents about what had happened, and while they were of course mad at us for having our sister walk around the hotel alone, they reported the situation to the front desk. I still think back on this situation and wonder what would have happened had that man grabbed my sister before she made it back to the sauna. I of course feel partly guilty for sending her alone, but I'm just
That
glad
is some
nothing
crazy
happened.
ass shit, fool.
Looking
Goddamn.
back, there's no doubt in my mind that the man that followed her that day was not one of the hotel's guests, but rather some random guy who entered the building with bad intentions.
That one thing I don't like about hotel, fool. Anybody can just come in there, bitch. I don't like the fact that, well, fool, it need to be like, fool, if you ain't, unless you paying for the whole fool, you can't come in there, bitch.
It was a Friday. I was on a business trip and
God.
was staying at a hotel in not the best part of town.
Make that be safer anyway. You feel me?
That ran late into the night. As I got back to my room, I had to go to bed as I had another meeting early the next morning. I wasn't tired, but I knew I needed the sleep, so I figured I'd at least try. Though, after about an hour of tossing around in bed, I realized there was no way I was going to get enough sleep. I decided to put on a podcast to listen to, as in the past it's helped me fall asleep. Finally, I eventually started dozing off. Though, around 3 hours later, I became aware of a noise that sounded like a slight knocking sound. I sat up to check the clock, and quickly realized it was 2 in the morning. I proceeded to take out my headphones, and doing so, confirmed the sound I was hearing wasn't coming from them, as I could only hear it louder now. I figured it could have been somebody in the room above me, which at the time made sense, as I was on the ground floor. I decided to ignore it, and laid back down. But not even 30 seconds later, it hit me. The sound was the result of the lock mechanism to the front door moving back and forth. I leapt out of bed and went straight to the room's door. As I got closer, it was confirmed. I could see the door moving, as whoever was on the other side was moving the door back and forth in what I can only assume was an attempt to pick the lock.
Oh, hell no.
I instinctively turned around, went to my suitcase, and pulled out my 14-round pistol that I try to always have on me.
14-round Glocky.
But as I did, I could see the lock twist.
My 14-round Glocky.
I immediately pointed my weapon straight ahead, knowing that if someone came through, I would have to make a split-second reaction. Luckily, though, as the door started to open, it was abruptly stopped. One of those latches hotel doors would have that you could use as a sort of second lock stopped the door from opening all the way. I was relieved, as realistically, the decision to utilize this second lock saved me from a life-or-death confrontation. Though, I quickly realized that wasn't going to stop this guy from trying to break in. I could see, clear as day, a hand reaching in from the crack of the door trying to unlock it from the inside.
Oh, hell
That's when I
no.
yelled out I had a gun, and the hand instantly retreated, followed by footsteps running down the hall. I debated whether or not to call the police, but decided against it, as I knew he'd be long gone by the time anyone got there. The next day, I decided to go to the front desk.
I would call that
of the situation.
for that.
But to my surprise,
cameras,
the lobby
bitch.
to the hotel was filled with police. It turns out the guy trying to get in my room from the night before was an escaped prisoner. They said he was going from room to room, picklocking the doors and robbing guests at knife point for cash. It's been 9 months since this happened.
See, like, how
I
he
haven't heard
even
anything
get
about it
up there,
since.
fool? That shit crazy.
I assume the guy's been
Hotel
caught
needs
by
security,
now,
son.
but realistically, I have no idea.
Paying all that money.
People say you don't really know what you'll do in those type of situations until it really happens. But I can honestly say I'm proud of how I stayed calm and was mentally prepared to defend myself. If there's one good thing that came of this, I feel confident that I responded in the right way and was ready for the unthinkable. It's just crazy to me to think that the latch to that door was the only thing between me and an armed confrontation with an escaped prisoner.
That shit is crazy, fool. Goddamn. What the fuck? Oh my god. How y'all feel about Hotel? Not goddamn. Let me know in the comment, man. That's it for this video, though, fool. We on to the next one in here, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Drop down in the comment what y'all